नवायत क्या चीज है?
नहीं, विल कम टू दैट, दैट इज डिफरेंट। सो इसके ऊपर एक क्रिश्चियन ने बहुत अच्छा काम किया है हाल में। दी किताब का नाम मुझे मिला है, द नवायत्स ऑफ कोंकण। कोंकण, हाँ, बहुत अच्छा काम किया है। नायत्स, द नायत्स ऑफ कोंकण। तो बात बोलने की थी, आपका सवाल क्या था कि आप क्यों? अच्छा, देखिए और एक बात, हिंदू का जुल्म इतना था लोअर कास्ट के ऊपर कि जब उन्होंने हिंदुइज्म को छोड़ा तो दे छोड़ा विथ ए वेंजेंस, विथ ए वेंजेंस। कुछ भी तुम्हारा अच्छा भी हो हमारे लिए नहीं चाहिए, सुना? तो उन्होंने अपना अडॉप्ट कर लिया। कोई भी बोले, शिया हो सुन्नी हो, कौन भी बाहर वाला भी, विलायती, जो आदमी विलायती कहलाता था, विलायती का जो कुछ को हम उसको फॉलो करते हैं, सुने? क्योंकि हिंदुओं का कास्ट सिस्टम का इंटेंसिटी मैंने देखा है। ओ हो, मेरा दोस्त वेलायदन, CK वेलायदन मेरे साथ जब स्ट्रीट में जाता था, तो BA था वो, मैं अभी PhD नहीं किया था, तो हम दोनों टाटा इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ सोशल वर्क में पढ़ रहे थे। तो हैट को यूँ छुपा लेकर जाता था, हैट से दिखा, क्योंकि वो गलियों में उसको चलने की ये नहीं थी। स्ट्रीट में एज ए लोअर कास्ट मैन ही हैड नो राइट टू वॉक ऑन द स्ट्रीट्स इन 1936-35, even though Gandhi ji was fighting for this anti-untouchability वगैरह वगैरह। ये लोकल फेरासिटी जो था इनके खिलाफ, लोअर कास्ट के खिलाफ हिंदुओं की, वो हिंदू भी खुद जो थे वो भी काले पीले, आई मीन दे देमसेल्व्स बिलोंग टू चटियार्स। चटियार्स आप यूपी इसके देखोगे, मद्रास के चटियार्स, दे आर प्यूरेस्ट एविडेंस ऑफ द्रविडिज्म। थिक लिप्ड, broad nosed, negroid, but they had been accepted in Hinduism as a higher caste, and therefore they themselves were looking upon the lower caste with the utmost contempt. ये बड़ा contradiction है हिंदू सोसाइटी में, है ना? आपने देखा होगा, लुथुला साहब ने देखा होगा चटियार्स के बारे में कि कैसे कैसे चटियार कितने अगली when compared with the Northern Aryan, when compared with the नंबूदरी करके जो कास्ट था वहाँ, उनका हेड जो सिफालिक है, टिपिकल आर्यन स्कल था, इसका अंडे के जैसा। इनके उसके बजाय इनके जो थे बड़े बल्ज्ड फॉरहेड वगैरह वगैरह, बट देवर चटियार, देवर करोड़पति, लखपति नहीं थे, करोड़पति उस जमाने में। नाट कोटी चट्टी, नाट कोटी जिसके पास 9 करोड़ होते थे, वो इज कॉल्ड नाट कोटी चटियार। वो उनको जेवरात जो पहनते थे सॉलिड, नो ऑर्नामेंटेशन इवन, ऐसे हेवी सॉलिड बैंगल्स पहनते थे सोने के। तो दे वर कंसिडर्ड टू बी, बट द ब्राह्मण्स एक्सेप्टेड देम एज द हायर कास्ट, एज द वैश्यास, you see, and these Vaishyas joined the Brahmins in looking down on the Paryas, who belonged to their own race. From the point of view of physical anthropology, they were identical, but sociology came in between. And so तो क्या हुआ, तो जो मुसलमान हुआ, जो आदमी मुसलमान हुआ, वो फेरोशियस तौर से वो मुसलमान हो गया, more ferocious than the Muslims of Arabia, than the Muslims of Iran, than the Muslims of India. To him, it was a redemption from Hinduism, the Hindu caste system. देखिए ना, कल तक आप इस गली में नहीं आ सकते थे, आपकी बीवी चांदी का जेवर पाँव में नहीं डाल सकती थी, सोने का जेवर पाँव में नहीं डाल सकती थी, आपकी बीवी सिल्क नहीं पहन सकती थी, सिल्क की साड़ी नहीं पहनना, सख्त मना था उसे। आज वो मुसलमान होते ही या क्रिश्चियन होते ही फौरन घोड़े के ऊपर आ सकता है, यहाँ फौरन आपकी बीवी बेहतरीन सिल्क पहन सकती है। एंड द हिंदू एक्सेप्टेड दैट, द हिंदू एक्सेप्टेड द डिसिपेशन ऑफ हिज ओन कल्चर, प्रोवाइड यू सी, he would not disrespect the Mohammedan, he would not disrespect the Christian, he would disrespect the Pariah who remained a Pariah. You see, so the Mohammedans who became converts to Islam, the people who became converts to Islam became ferociously anti-Hindu. They don't not only anti-Hindu, anti-Indic, Indian culture apart from religion के जो था ना, उसके भी against हो गया. And that's how they clung to Urdu, because Urdu was nearest Persian script थी, imagery in non-Indian थी, लैला मजनू बाहर का था, शीरीन फरहाद बाहर का था. They did not want Nala and Damayanti. They did not want Rama and Sita. They did not want Krishna and gopis. They did not want. Clean. This was an act of hatred, anger, ferocity on the part of the lower caste Muslims who became the Muslim Hindus. No, lower caste Hindus who became the, the lower caste Hindus who became the Muslims. You see, ferocious तौर से. मुझे मालूम है मेरा बाप कैसा मरा. आज मैं मुसलमान हो गया, आज मैं घोड़े पे आ रहा हूँ. सुना? अच्छा, मैं कल तक मैं क्या करता था? कल तक मेरे गले में एक ऐसी हांडी बानी जाती थी जिसमें मुझे थूकना पड़ता था. हाँ, क्योंकि अगर मैं बात गली में थूकूं, खुसूसन ट्रैवनकोर में, जहाँ हिंदुइज्म का असर बहुत ही जबरदस्त रहा, बिकॉज ट्रैवनकोर वाज द एरिया फ्रॉम वेयर दे डिस्ट्रॉयड द Ceylonese and South Indian civilization, the Aryans. So there they had put the greatest humiliation on the local people. तो इसमें अगर किसी परिया, पंचमा किसे उसे परिया मीन्स पराया, सिंगल आउटसाइडर, जो थूका, किसी ब्राह्मण ने आपने उसके ऊपर कदम रख दिया गलती से, तो उसकी सजा ब्राह्मण को नहीं जाती थी, उसकी सजा परिये को मिलती थी कि तू थूका क्यों. तो इसलिए वो कई क्या सजा मिलती थी, कुत्ते के दुम में कीड़ा होकर पैदा होता था नेक्स्ट जन्म में. सो उसके डर से गले में ये ले लेके फिरता था, उसी में थूकता था. अच्छा, और कुएं के ऊपर, मेरा कुआं जो था उसके ऊपर एक हड्डी बांधी जाती थी किसी जानवर की, दिखाने के लिए कि ये परिया का कुआं है, कोई ब्राह्मण गलती से यहाँ पानी ना पी ले. सुना? तो जब वो आदमी मुसलमान हुआ या क्रिश्चियन हो गया तो ये सब बैरियर चले गए. उसकी बीवी जेवर पहन सकती थी, उसकी बीवी सिल्क पहन सकती थी, वो घोड़े के ऊपर चढ़ सकता था, थूक सकता था. सुना? तो ऐसा आदमी जब होता है तो फैनेटिक एंटी हिंदू हो जाता है, फैनेटिक. सुना? और क्रिश्चियन भी हो रहे हैं. तो वहाँ एक कमाल हुआ है. फैनेटिक मुसलमान क्या किया, मुसलमान क्या करता है, ये परिये को मुसलमान करके छोड़ देता है. लेट्स हिम लूज लाइक ए डॉग, मैड डॉग अगेंस्ट द हिंदू. द क्रिश्चियन सेज नो, इट इज नॉट इनफ, वी विल एजुकेट यू एंड वी विल ट्रेन यू. यू सी, मिशंस खोलता है, स्टडी तौर से उनको जॉब्स, हर चीज सिखाता है, सो दैट यू मे बी इन रिलेट, यू मे लिव इन हार्मोनी विद द हिंदूज. एंड तुम्हारा आधा नाम इंग्लिश, आधा नाम तुम्हारा कोई खास नाम, मिसाल के तौर पे जेडी संपत कुमारन, हमारा स्काउट मास्टर था, जेम्स डेविड संपत कुमारन. संपत कुमार टिपिकल हिंदू नेम. सुना? और जेडी जो था वो इंग्लिश. ऐसा हर, so the Hindu would not feel the sharpness between them so much. संपत कुमारन आया, मगर मुसलमान ने अवाउडली removed every Hindu nomenclature from his society. सुना? जो किसी और ने नहीं किया इतना जोर से. आप इंडोनेशिया में देखेंगे कि आधा नाम इंडोनेशिया में हिंदू है, आधा मुसलमान है. शिवकर्णो, अहमद शिवकर्णो. अहमद इज ए अरबिक नेम, शिवकर्ण इज ए संस्कृत नेम. आप ऐसा नाम हिंदुस्तान के मुसलमान में नहीं देखोगे. सुना? वो हिंदुस्तान का मुसलमान का नाम इतना ग्रोटस्क होगा कि अरब को भी, मोर अरबिक देन अरब. वो उसका नाम अहमद बिन अब्दुल्ला होगा, तो इसका नाम वो नहीं होगा. इसका नाम फजल करीम, रहमान और रहीम, वो मालूम नहीं हो क्या 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 हो, क्योंकि ही वांटेड टू आउटस्ट्रिप द अरब इन अरबिक, इन नामिक नहीं. जैसे कैसा असमत परवीन, तो असमत का माना एक चीज, परवीन का माना अलग चीज. परवीन और सितारों का नाम. हाउ कैन ऑड नाम, जितने ऑड नाम से आपको मोहम्मद दे आर स्टडी इन इटसेल्फ. वो हिंदुओं के नाम थे कांति, शांति, बाला, सुना, उषा, यानी कमला, गोपी, ऐसे इनको सब इन्होंने अवॉइड किया. आउट ऑफ द हेट्रेड, the white Mohammedan who came from outside, his hatred towards the Hindu was the hatred of the conqueror towards the conquered. the hatred of the converted Hindu against the Hindu was, converted Mussalman was the hatred of the conquered man against who had conquered him before. So the poor Hindu society has been caught between two forces of Mussalman hatred. One that of the superiority of the outsider, and one of the ferocity of the oppressed who became liberated and became. हाँ, आइडेंटिटी क्या थी आइडेंटिटी आपकी? अब I don't want to take name here. There is a person here who has got a very grandiose name of his own. I went and saw his house in Madras. The house was that of a monkey. यानी ब्लैकपल्ली में एक काले लोग बेचारे बिल्कुल काले गरीब लोग मुसलमान ब्लैकपल्ली उनका वो ब्लैकपल्ली में उनका मकान जाके देखा. And that man is a very important big man here, and he is a ferocious Mussalman. Has to be necessarily. You see, from Blackpalli to Bungalow in Karachi is an evolution in one single step, which is very good from the sociological point of view. But what is it? उसके orientation उसके mind का जो होता है ना, it is anti-cultural. That is the identity. He seeks identity with the higher society, which has accepted him, and the against the society that had rejected him. So this is the identity that he has created. It is his own. Survival, certainly. So I am not blaming him. I told you, sociologically it is an evolution in one step. It would have taken Darwinian evolution a few lakhs of years for him to leave the Blackpalli.
आइडेंटिटी का उसकी मामला ना होता, हाँ, तो वो उसमें एब्जॉर्ब हो जाता.
नहीं ऑब्जर्व कहाँ था, ऑब्जर्व की बात ही नहीं थी. He was part and parcel of that society. He was himself the part and parcel of the Hindu society.
नहीं, मगर ओरिजिनल हिंदू सोसाइटी ने तो उसे
हाँ, इसीलिए certainly I am saying कि he did belong to a society which ought to have claimed him as its own.
देखिए ना, जो जात पात का मामला था, उसने जो इंसानी कदरें थी एक सोसाइटी के अंदर,
certainly
सोसाइटी जो है वो उसे डिस्ट्रॉय कर.
certainly
इस्लाम जब आया,
हाँ,
इस्लाम जब आया, उसने कम से कम सबसे बड़ा काम ये किया कि जात पात के मसले को हटाकर,
ना हटाया नहीं, ये एक हद तक, बिकॉज उस ब्लैकपल्ली के मुसलमान को आज भी हायर कास्ट विल नॉट गिव हिम हिज डॉटर. हायर क्लास के मुसलमान जो हैं आज भी when they go and see Blackpalli, they will not give him their daughter.
वक्त के साथ साथ जो एवोल्यूशन हो रहा है, तो उसमें ये हायर कास्ट और लोअर कास्ट का ये जो कॉन्सेप्ट है, यानी हिंदू सोसाइटी में हिंदू सोसाइटी बाकी रहे, लेकिन मुस्लिम सोसाइटी में बाकी नहीं रहे.
नहीं, बाकी है. चौधरीइज्म बाकी है. There are groups here. There are Rajput families here where you cannot marry. Muslim Rajput families. There are Sayyids in the Sayyids of Sindh. You simply cannot marry. The Sayyids of Sindh के daughters जो है ना are got given in marriage to the Quran. Quran से बन गए. So the caste system, the upper caste and the lower caste, the ruler, the higher group and the lower group has continued. It is mitigated. It is not so intense as it was in the Hindu society. कि ये सिंपल प्रॉवर्ब में होता है, आज मैं पठान हूँ, ज़रात अच्छी हो गई तो नेक्स्ट ईयर मैं क्या हो शेख हो जाऊँगा, हाँ, और भी अच्छी ज़रात रही तो मैं मुग़ल हो जाऊँगा, उसके बाद मैं सैयद हो जाऊँगा. यहाँ यू आर नॉट persecuted for becoming a Sayyid, but you could not become a Brahmin there by claiming yourself to be a Brahmin. Here, today you can call yourself Sayyid. Nobody is going to ask you, yes, why. Thousands of Muhajirs who came from outside got good reception in Sindh by claiming themselves to be Sayyids. You see, although they were not Sayyids at all. And there are no Sayyids at all, really speaking. अच्छा, तो बात यह है कि it is really a question of from when a man becomes a Mohammedan or a Christian, his identity becomes better than the identity that he had in the.
अब एक सवाल ये था, जब हम मुसलमान, अब जैसे आप नवाए थे, आप बाहर से आए, हिंदुस्तान में सेटल हुए, आप अपना जो कल्चरल जो
नॉस्टैल्जिया,
वो साथ ले,
नॉस्टैल्जिया लेकर आए,
उसके अंदर यहाँ का जो कल्चरल एलिमेंट्स है वो आपने एब्जॉर्ब किया,
बहुत कम
है ना, चलिए बहुत कम. अब उसके बाद जो शक्ल बनी, समझे, वो शक्ल बनी, वो शक्ल वो थी कि जो हिंदुस्तानी हिंदू से मुख्तलिफ थी जी,
मुलटो.
जो भी थी
Mulatto. It is neither this nor that. It is a mulatto. What you call typical, we can call in vulgar language, इट वाज अ बास्टर्ड कल्चर।
उसमें ये है जो बिल्कुल ठीक
हाँ
है,
हाँ
लेकिन ये कि वो जो आइडेंटिटी का मामला था,
हाँ
अपनी फेथ को महफूज रखने
क्वाइट
का
राइट,
मामला था,
क्वाइट राइट,
उसने तो सारे खेल तो उसी ने खेले।
क्वाइट राइट, quite right. There is there can be no two opinions about it.
उस मुस्लिम कल्चर को जिस शक्ल में भी वो डेवलप हुआ इन द कोर्स ऑफ हिस्ट्री, समझे, हम उसे न्यू बास्टर्ड कहकर रिजेक्ट तो नहीं कर सकते।
नहीं, I said in vulgar language it is called bastard. In vulgar language it is called bastard. It is a mulatto culture. It is a culture that has been created by the conflict and confluence and combination of various other cultures.
जितनी भी बड़ी सिविलाइजेशंस होती हैं, तो उनमें ये जो कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है और ये इन्फ्लुएंसेस का कॉन्फ्लुएंस वगैरह जो है, ये होके तो डेवलपमेंट होता है।
बेशक होता है। फॉर इंस्टेंस the present day English culture is the product of the mulattoism, the Romans, Danes, और कौन थे वो, एंग्लो-सैक्सन्स, और आज भी टिल 1914 the lords जो कहलाते थे, the lords, they were not getting married, they were not marrying the laity, feudal society थी, all these are feudal society।
जो है खत्म होंगी और नई इंडस्ट्रियल सोसाइटी या जो डेवलप होंगी, तो सारी वैल्यू पैटर्न भी बदल
हो रहा है। आज का रोज हो रहा है कि इंडिया में ब्राह्मण girls are getting married to non-Brahmin boys, to the extent that rationalism, industrialism, scientific, what is called nationalism are working, but they are at fringe. Internally nothing has so far changed in India.
अच्छा, एक बात मैं आपसे पूछना था, अभी दूसरा जगह है और अच्छा, एक बात मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ, अब जरा इस पर गौर करें, अगर अभी पूरा तफसील से जाओ तो फायदा कि जितनी भी हिस्ट्री में हम मुताला करते हैं, तो जितनी सोसाइटीज जो प्रोग्रेसिव फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग होती हैं, उनके अंदर हमेशा वो लोग शामिल होते हैं, उसको आगे बढ़ाते हैं कि जो बाहर से माइग्रेट करके उस सोसाइटी के अंदर दाखिल होते हैं। आर्यंस आए, उन्होंने इस सोसाइटी को एक नई शक्ल दी और जो पैटर्न बना वो आप जानते हैं। अच्छा, यही सूरत यूरोप में हुई, यही सूरत ऑस्ट्रेलिया में हुई, यही सूरत कनाडा में
हो रही है
और यही हो रही है। अच्छा, यही सूरत आप देखते हैं कि फॉर द लास्ट 200 ईयर्स अमेरिका में यही सूरत हो रही है कि उसके अमेरिका की तरक्की का राज ये है कि उसके अंदर हर साल तकरीबन 10-12 लाख जो लोग हैं मुख्तलिफ इलाकों को माइग्रेट करके अपने आइडियाज के साथ जाते हैं और अपने आप को सेटल करने के लिए, स्ट्रगल करने के लिए उस सोसाइटी के अंदर कंट्रीब्यूट। अमेरिकन सोसाइटी इज द ग्रेटेस्ट पॉसिबल एक्सपेरिमेंट इन ह्यूमन सिविलाइजेशन, ग्रेटेस्ट पॉसिबल, बिकॉज यू आर कीपिंग इंटीमेट रिकॉर्ड अब लिखा जा रहा है कि हाउ सोसाइटीज आर फॉर्म्ड, हाउ आर इन द पास्ट, हाउ विल बी फॉर्म्ड इन द फ्यूचर। उसके पैटर्न जो बने, अमेरिकन सोशियोलॉजी जो है वो यही इसीलिए बड़ी इंटरेस्टिंग है कि माइग्रेंट्स, ऑल आर माइग्रेंट्स देयर। अभी तक नेक्स्ट ईयर से आएगा 1983, दे आर गोइंग टू मेक इट स्ट्रांग। 1983 से अमेरिकनिज्म ज्यादा होएगा। अब तक अमेरिकनिज्म वहाँ नहीं है, with the result that if you are a stranger, I am also a stranger. If you, the real sufferers are the Red Indians. The only real sufferer in America is the dispossessed Red Indian. All others have built up the society from outside. ये जिसे आप महाजिर कहते हैं, रेफ्यूजी कहते हैं, इमिग्रेंट कहते हैं, तो जब ये किसी सोसाइटी में जाता है तो सोसाइटी को बिल्ड करता है नहीं करता?
डॉक्टर साहब, I have got my own society. I have got my own society as a Punjabi society. I have got my own society as a Sindhi society. I have got my own society as a Baluchi society. I have got my society as a frontier society. I may slowly absorb you, perhaps 200 years, 300 years more. But now you have come here as a big pocket of your own. Your own pocket. Karachi is a pocket, Hyderabad is a pocket, or Sakar is a pocket and all that. These pockets से dissipation नहीं हो रहा है, यानी डिसिपेशन नहीं बोलते उसे, इट्स ए परकोलेशन इनटू द इंडियन सोसाइटी, सिंधी इनटू द कराची, इनटू द पाकिस्तानी सोसाइटी बिल्कुल कम हो रहा है।
तो शुरू में होता था,
कभी
1947 में था
नहीं,
कभी
नहीं, कहीं फ्रिंज।
मगर ये सारी सोसाइटी जो है
जी
इस शक्ल में जो आई है
जी,
उसमें वो हिजरत करके बाहर आने वालों ने जो स्ट्रगल किया,
जी,
जो अपने आप को सेटल करने के लिए, अपना मकान बनाने के लिए, अपने रोजगार फराहम करने के लिए, अपने आप को जिंदा रखने के लिए जो जद्दोजहद की, उससे आपके ख्याल में ये सोसाइटी बिल्डअप नहीं हुई?
बेशक हुई है, बट विल नॉट बी एक्नॉलेज्ड। बहुत हुई है, मगर ये कल्चर ही अलग हो गया है, महाजर कल्चर एक हो गया है।
आप इसको 1947 आपके जहन में है, तो 97 में जो इनका कल्चरल पैटर्न था, सिंध का ले लीजिए, जो कल्चरल पैटर्न था, आज 1982 में वो कल्चरल पैटर्न
देखिए सिंध में जो नहीं, जो सिंधी जो ओरिजिनल सिंधी कराची में है, उसका कल्चर इज वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम दी सिंधी कल्चर इन शिकारपुर। जो सिंधी इसमें है, किसमें, कराची में है, ही इज नॉट ए सिंधी नाउ।
कराची जो है
हाँ, इज ए क्रूसिबल।
हाँ, नहीं मगर ये जो कराची जो है, ये तो इट इज ए सिटी ऑफ कल्चर।
You can call it a cosmopolis. It's a cosmopolis. You see, as any other cosmopolis, it is also a cosmopolis. But the defensive forces in the local cultures have become very strong now. Certainly, they have become very strong because they do not want to be isolated, to be washed out. You see?
लेकिन वो तो आपका वो जो वन यूनिट बना था,
हाँ,
और उसके बाद जो उन पर सिंध पर जुल्म हुआ
जी
था,
जी,
उसका ये एक फितरी
नहीं है, सिंध पर की, सिंध कर की ही नहीं। डॉक्टर साहब, थिंग्स आर गोइंग इन स्पाइट ऑफ एंड नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ। इन कल्चर में ऐसा ही होता है, थिंग्स हैपन इन स्पाइट ऑफ। देखो, इन स्पाइट ऑफ एवरीथिंग पंजाब इज एक्सपैंडिंग इन सिंध। सुना, इन स्पाइट ऑफ एवरीथिंग पख्तून्स आर एक्सपैंडिंग इन सिंध। In spite of everything, Sindhi culture, to my view, is on the defensive, very much on the defensive. I do not know where it will take a stand. You see, the only culture that has been so far less affected is the Balochi and the Pathan culture. You see, Sindhi, there was a time when Balochi culture was aggressive in Sindh. It is not aggressive now. The aggressive is not because of you willingly do it. You see, nothing is villainously or in spite of, it happens. अब देखिए ना, आपके घर के बाजू एक पठान आके एक झोंपड़ी डाल देता है, तो आपके घर की वैल्यू गिर गई। सुना, आपका अगर 8 लाख का था, दूसरे दिन में आके देखना लेना, यहाँ पठान 2-3 पठान ही, बेबी आई डोंट वांट इट, यू गिव मी फॉर 5 लाख रुपीज। तो आपके घर के करीब ही हुआ ये, वेरी नियर योर हाउस इट हैज हैपेंड कि द वैल्यू ऑफ द हाउस, मदर यूसुफ के घर के तरफ वैल्यू गिर गए, पठानों ने आके कॉलोनी बना ली। तो लोग, तो दिस पठानों ने दीदा विलनेसली नहीं किया, उन्होंने आके अपनी कॉलोनी बना ली, और उनकी कॉलोनी के होने से यहाँ के लोगों के वैल्यूज ये गिर गए। तो दीज थिंग्स हैपन इन स्पाइट ऑफ, नॉट बिकॉज ऑफ। सी, नो, that is how you form Pakistan. Punjabis formed Pakistan because with one central government and with one central Indian bank, there would have been no possibility of the local development.
ये बताइए कि ये आपके शाम को डेली न्यूज में कॉलम आया करते थे,
मैग में और डेली
न्यूज में, अभी कोई कुछ दिन से बंद है।
हाँ,
तो ये क्यों बंद हो गया, क्या वजह है?
अरे भाई, ये तो मामूली बात है, और सब एक्टर्स हैं जिंदा। उनसे हर एक भी जो मैं कह सकता हूँ उसे वेरीफाई कर सकते हैं। उन चीफ इन एक्टर्स में वाजिद शमसुल हसन वाजिद हैं, वो भी हैं, और खलील रहमान साहब भी जिंदा हैं। बात यह कि 6 जनवरी 6 फरवरी 1983 से दो दिन पहले, यानी 4 फरवरी को खलील रहमान साहब की बेटी की शादी हुई थी। उसमें मदऊ थे जिया और गवर्नर ऑफ सिंध, वो दोनों नहीं आए, और सिवाय चीफ सेक्रेटरी के शायद कई लोग नहीं गए, बड़े बड़े। मुझे मालूम नहीं, आई डोंट नो, बट व्हाट हैपेंड वाज कि दिस हैपेंड ऑन थर्सडे 4 फरवरी 1983। उसी दिन सुना कि लाहौर के एक करस्पॉन्डेंट जो कॉलम लिखते थे मेरे, बशीर, लाहौर से बशीर मेरे थे, उनका एक डिस्पैच आया था वेडनेसडे। अथॉरिटीज का हुक्म आया कि वो डिस्पैच पब्लिश नहीं होना चाहिए। ये बात वाजिद शमसुल हसन को मालूम नहीं थी। अच्छा। उन्होंने प्रिंट कर दिया कौन सा हैदराबाद का एडिशन, हैदराबाद को जो जाने का है, प्रिंट कर दिया और भेज दिया। प्रिंट करके भेज दिए बाद
उस डिस्पैच में कोई खास बात थी?
I don't know what it is. It was anyway, the government did not want that. It had been sent. उसके बाद मैं सुना, वाजिद ने बोला, वाजिद शमसुल हसन ने बोला कि मीर खलील रहमान called him and said you don't send that this. He said I already printed it and sent the. He said no, stop it. So Wajid stopped the further printing of that in Karachi edition. But Khalilur Rahman was mad with anger at this. आपने ठीक नहीं किया, ये नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया. Do you understand me? तो आपने ये ठीक नहीं किया, आप you should. He said what shall I do? I did not. You should have told me beginning. पहले ही बोलना था आप मुझे, मैं कर सकता. नहीं आपने किया, ये ठीक नहीं किया. So Wajid says that Wajid told it to all the office people before me also. Okay, in that case I don't like it. So Wajid said in that circumstances I will resign. He said all right, you have to do it. You may. So Wajid accepted the fact that he will resign for having published Bashir's dispatch, which went to Hyderabad, but it did not reach the Karachi public because he had published. This happened. So Wajid had resigned, had been asked to resign. Wajid says that a few hours afterwards, Mir Khalilur Rahman's son came there and told him, the unpleasant duty for which I have come. He said, and you're like my teacher to me. I treated you like a teacher and all that, but things had to be done. Then he dictated a resignation to Wajid Shamsul Hasan. And according to Wajid, the dictate was that I have served this for 20 years. You have treated me very nicely and all that. Due to my own reasons, I am resigning. So that was taken away by Mir Khalilur Rahman's son to Mir Khalilur Rahman. All this, I'm sorry, something in between happened. Between Wajid's being told that yes, you had better resign, and actually Wajid writing that letter, Wajid told this episode to his friends, to his journalistic friends. All of them said, don't resign. You take a stand. Don't resign. Why should you resign? Let him dismiss you. Let him dismiss you, then we will see what we can do. But as usual, as a true Muslim leaguer, Wajid had anything but kidney and courage. He had no kidney. Dilo gurde ki baat hoti hai na. He, when the time came to write, he wrote it. Gave it away. Wajid's friends were deeply disappointed at that. According to him and according to Wajid's friends, they were deeply disappointed. This all happened by Saturday morning. Saturday morning at about 10 o'clock, 10 or 10:30, I went to the Daily News office to write down my column. I had not written a column for the mag. So I wanted to, I sit down there itself and write. I write spontaneously on the typewriter itself. I never type at home. So I went there. So Wajid was saying these things to all, and he was telling to Mr. Tanveer, कि तुम वो manage कर लो, वो करो. He was giving his last instructions as to what should be done. And I said, what is the matter? Then Wajid told me in brief the story. And I was stunned. By that time, a servant came. Said, Wajid साहब को और डॉक्टर साहब को बुलाते हैं. Wajid said, I will come. So he went to the bathroom for a minute and then came back and I said, chalo Dr. Sahab. I said, but why should I come? So on the way, staircase up, Wajid put his palm of his hand on my thumb, on my back, and said, उसलिए कि कुछ article writing के बारे में कुछ घपला हुआ है. किसके कौन से article writing है? Article. This is my mistake. I should have told, well, I am not going. I am not your servant. Why should, if you want, let him come to me. I am not his paid servant. Why should an editor want me to come? I am a freelance writer. This I did not do. I am a freelance writer. So we went in. As soon as we went in, there were 4 other people sitting in the room, along with 2 sons of Mir Khalifa, they were deeply absorbed. They were in rather peculiar mood. I did not know it. I did not even bother. I said, "Aye, bache." Oh, my writing of the Thursday column was with him. He said, "आपने क्या लिखा है secularism के बारे में, Quaid-e-Azam के बारे में?" I said, "Yes, Quaid-e-Azam ने कहा था secularism." And it has been published 5 times.
5 times.
5 times previously. 5 times in the same Daily News has been published. I said, I recited the whole thing. A Muslim will not be a Muslim. A Hindu will not be a Hindu. The Muslim will go to the mosque and the Hindus will go to the temples, and the people of other religions will attend to their other religious places. In the personal sense, they will not be Muslims or Hindus in the official sense. They will all be Pakistanis. Only in the personal sense they will be whatever they are. And he said, "But what else secularism? ये secularism का word उसमें कहाँ है?" I said, "Need I say? If this is not secularism, what else is it?" इसके ऊपर वो अब झूठ बोलते हैं. तुम झूठ बोलते हो. क्या झूठ बोलता हूँ मैं लिखा हूँ. It is my right to write whatever I like, and it is your right to throw it into the dust paper basket. How dare you say that I hadn't? If this is not secularism, what else is secularism? Where did he use the word secularism? I said, need he use the word secularism? When the whole damn thing is all for to say in defense of secularism. One of the funniest statements of the secularism is this paraphrasing of the word secularism. This is actually the paraphrasing of the word secularism, so that there may be no more mistakes about it. That he said, a Hindu will not be a Hindu, a Muslim will not be a Muslim. In the political sense, they will all be members of the same state with equal rights and responsibilities. And they will, and then he further elaborated it. You see, further elaborated it, as nobody else has done on secularism so far, saying that had it not been done, the whole trouble has come about, but India suffered all that previously because it was suffering from religiosity, so we will not suffer from it. If this is not secularism, इसके ऊपर क्या आप झूठ बोलते हैं? यूँ झूठ बोलते हैं. इसके ऊपर मुझे मारने आया, उठ गया कुर्सी से उठ गया यूँ, like the typical दिल्ली का दला. You see, I called him. You see, मुझे मारने के लिए आया. मैं भी उठ गया मारने के लिए. He came from across the. So then somebody caught hold of, one son of his caught hold of him, and one son of him caught hold of me. And then in this would have been scuffle, all of us came out of the room. When all of us came out of the room, the people on the whole floor came out. Then the drama began. Then I was held tight by his son. So I was just trying to break out. And he said, Quaid-e-Azam, क्या हो गया? लोगों ने कहा क्या हुआ? People thought perhaps that there must have been a fight, perhaps on money matters, or on love affairs, or on property affairs. But when he went on saying, Quaid-e-Azam को, ये कहते हैं कि Quaid-e-Azam secularism चाहते थे. Quaid-e-Azam secularism चाहते थे. Quaid-e-Azam लादीनी हुकूमत चाहते थे. Quaid-e-Azam democracy चाहते थे. The people were stunned. The people didn't know that there could be a fight between two old idiots. You see, each over 70 years of age. Iron matters not of money, property or anything. So they were stunned, and he went on howling. Then Wajid dragged me out. We came down, almost tumbling. I didn't know what had happened. See, I didn't know. Just it was like a pistol shot, you see. I was not prepared for it. And I just didn't know what was happened. So when we came down, Wajid's brother felt that Wajid was suffering from depression or shock. He couldn't sit on the easily, so he sat on the car, and then we drove, myself and Wajid and his brother and Tanveer, we drove to the cardiovascular ward. There, I also got myself examined. The fellow said, तुम्हारे को क्या, तुम्हारे को तो कुछ भी नहीं हुआ, उनको जरा shock हुआ है. So he advised him rest and some, I don't know, some, and that was all that I know so far. The background of it later on I came to know. And then I came to know that night the atmosphere was tense as regards Wajid. Wajid's resignation and all that. Perhaps there was a sense of defense on the part of the people that if Wajid goes, perhaps there will be a strike in the press or something of that sort. So this fellow, Khalilur Rahman, went to the house of Wajid at night. This is according to Wajid. And almost caught hold of his feet. बेगिंग, हम और आप हमारे पुराने ताल्लुकात हैं, यू सी, माफ करो, हमारे को रिसिग्नेशन वापस ले लो. एंड वाजिद एक्सेप्टेड इट, केम बैक. When I heard that, I said, this is the first instance I see that a dog eating its own vomit. You see, even a dog does not eat its own vomit, and Wajid did it. You see.
डॉक्टर साहब, आपकी तहरीरें जिन लोगों ने पढ़ी हैं
जी,
कि जिन लोगों ने आपसे गुफ्तगू की है
जी,
आज से नहीं बल्कि सन 1947 से जब यहाँ
जी,
आए
जी,
तो
जी,
से लेकर
जी,
अब तक,
जी,
तो एक तो ये कि सेकुलरिज्म में आप बिलीव करते हैं
जी,
और दूसरे ये कि शायद आप मजहब में बिलीव नहीं करते,
जी.
तो इसकी क्या वजह है? क्या इसके पीछे कोई फलसफा है, कोई नुक्ता नजर है, कोई आपका कोई नजरिया है?
भाई 1928 से, अगर जब मैं हाई स्कूल में था, तब से ही मैंने साइकोलॉजी के ऊपर किताबें पढ़ना शुरू किया था. यू सी, साइकोलॉजी एंड साइको एनालिसिस के ऊपर किया था. उससे पहले कभी भी जा सकता हूँ, उससे पहले कभी जा सकता हूँ मेरे ज़ाती तौर पे, फिर मैं इसके बाद आऊँगा. अब फिलहाल अब जो 1932 में जब मैं महाराजास कॉलेज में दाखिल हुआ ऑनर्स क्लासेस में, तो मैं साइकोलॉजी एंड साइकोलॉजी ऑनर्स था और सोशियोलॉजी भी मेरा एक सब्जेक्ट था. सोशियोलॉजी के मैं अटेंड करना शुरू किया, एंड उसमें एंथ्रोपोलॉजी भी था पढ़ना. तो एंथ्रोपोलॉजी जब मैं पढ़ना शुरू किया, कल्चरल एंथ्रोपोलॉजी एज पार्टनर, तो मैंने देखा कि इन मैन एंड रिलीजन आर ऑलवेज टुगेदर. Even in primitive society, religion has been there, most primitive society, except perhaps the arboreal people in the Central Africa who are still living on trees. अभी वो नीचे नहीं आए हैं. ऑस्ट्रेलिया के अबोरिजिनिस जो हैं, उनमें भी आपको प्रिमिटिव रिलीजन मिलेगा. जहाँ तक इंसान की तारीख पीछे मिलती जाती है, द एविडेंस ऑफ रिलीजन एंड डेथ सेरेमनीज गो टुगेदर. उनके अर्न्स मिले हैं, उनके मुर्दों के, तो देखें कि वो मुर्दों को के साथ वो उनके आखिरी सफ़र का सामान, हड्डियाँ, ये वो, और थिंग्स टू शो दैट देयर इज बिलीफ इन सोल के मौत. सो रिलीजन इज एन ओल्डेस्ट इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ मैन. I began to study, and in all, and then I began to got so interested that quite apart from the little that you get in the textbooks and all that, I began to read generally on religions. That religion is always a belief in the other world and in the entities other than human beings. There have been gods, there have been devils, you see, there have been demons, and there have been all these primitive, इतने varied, इतने interesting. मैं तौर से मैं पढ़ना शुरू किया कि I got absorbed in the study of religion as the basic human institution in society, and whole group being organized around religion, ceremonies, dance ceremonies, death ceremonies, birth ceremonies, initiation ceremonies, जो primitives की जो थे, और उनका डांस, उनका ड्रामा, उनका पेंटिंग्स ऑन देयर bodies, all religion. Man's life seems to be riddled with religion, and the more I studied, the more it was, religion was about emotion and least about intellect. Intellect was कुछ element नहीं था in the lower religions, just emotions and beliefs in deities, gods of the air, gods of the earth, gods of the sky, gods of the clouds, gods of the thunderbolt, and then gods of the various diseases, and gods and goddesses. And especially, and much later when man began to have mastery on agriculture, and the hunting period was minimized, and settlements began to take place, like foundation of villages, towns, and later on cities and all that. The same tendency. So religion as used as a means of social control. Religion as a means of social control. It developed, perhaps according to many people, the dream played a very big role in the foundation of religion. That your grandfather had died, but you saw him again in the dream. So that means that your grandfather is still alive somewhere. His soul is there. His soul is the immortality of the soul. You see? And then the man is to be pleased. He has to be given sacrifices. The soul has to be pleased. The soul comes asks for blood or sacrifices and all that. And anything that happens in the dream was taken to be the foundation of belief in the afterworld and the continuity of the soul. I'm making it very much brief. Very brief. And when we began to study the Egyptian religion and the mummification of the pharaohs and all that, how they will come back to life and how they must have all their equipment with them so that when they come back they may again use it. This was just the evolution of what you find in the primitive graves. The tools of hunting were placed along with the hunter. And you see the club हो, stone age हो, stone age के लोगों में stones के weapons मिलते हैं, knives वगैरह, उनके bones के साथ, so that when they come up they may again use the weapons and all that. So I thought that this is a wholly non-rational and irrational process of fearing death and attempting to perpetuate immortality. That man does somehow does not want to die, and as death is inevitable, his means of escape are so many. He tries to please the gods. He pleases and hold that the man will come back again, woman will come back again, and all. This began. So I began to study it, and then study in primitive societies around the world, from the Druids, the ancient Greeks, the ancient primitives, Philippines, and so I said this is a process of a non-rational, totally irrational attempt to perpetuate mortality, perpetuate immortality in man. So then I found, especially the study of Greek sculpture, and made it even much more interesting. That the Greek garden of gods, the Olympus, the Mount Olympus, where the gods live, and the gods and goddesses, their romances and their love affairs and their hate affairs, and then what is called all the beautiful in Greek mythology, ancient Greek mythology. I found beautiful, a very beautiful garden of the gods. You see. And then I began to, by the time I had come to the higher classes in psychology, I began to study symbolism. What is symbolism? Then I found that in Hindu society, you see symbolism in its beauty, which I could understand. Because all around me there were Hindu gods. All around me there were Hindu, because I was born in Mysore, brought up in Mysore, reading in Maharaja's College, Mysore. 96% of the students around me and Hindus, all believers, all my professors. But my doctor was Dr. Gopal Swami, Dr. M.V. Gopal Swami, the great psychologist.
He was your teacher.
He was my teacher. We were honor students, so we were only 4. So we were having special treatment. We were attending general classes for the BA examination, but honors classes for BA honors examination were separate. And he was an out and out rationalist. And both my other professors, Mr. S.L.N. Shastri, as well as another Kupswami, they were also rationalists. I mean, they studied religion as a phenomena, not as believers. Not as believers. They knew that just like disease has always been with man, health has always been with man, good weather has been always with man, sunshine has always been with man, moonlight has always been man, so also religion has been also with man. So it is a phenomena. Religion is a social phenomena, a very permanent and persistent, but it is a social phenomena, you see, and not an intellectual phenomena. in the sense that mathematics is, or science is. It is a social phenomenon. And the more I talked with Dr. Gopalswamy, and Dr. Gopalswamy was known among the Orthodox as an atheist. And the Hindu society didn't bother whether you are an atheist or atheist. Not at all. Not at all bothered. And then I began to study. There came into my hands, at that most appropriate time, a book by Ingersoll, Robert Ingersoll, his selections, writings and speeches from Dr. Ingersoll, Robert Ingersoll, which was the cleanest paraphrasing of what I had been studying in the higher book, in the textbooks. In the textbooks, it was on a very academic level. In the Ingersoll's books, it was plain, understandable level. For instance, he begins his chapter on the gods. Gods. He says, there have always been gods with us. Some are thick and some are thin and some are tall and some are short. Some are with one eye, some is with two eyes, some with many eyes, some with one head, some with many heads, some partly visible, some wholly invisible. So it came to me like a lock in the key, a key in the lock, you see. My whole pattern of thought, here I found crystallized into the most beautiful writing that I came across. And then came across Psychology of Religion by Luba. Luba, Psychology of Religion, is a classic book on psychology, on psychology. These two made me totally understand that religion is not for a man like me, you see, who attempts to be rational, who is not rational, who is irrational. I got emotions that override my feelings and all that and all that. But I said, religion is none. Then I began to study. I mean, I don't know how many books I studied, what I studied and all that. Then I began his analysis of the Bible. Ingersoll's analysis, Some Mistakes of Moses. There is a chapter called Some Mistakes of Moses. And these things, then I went to study the Bible. Then I found that the Bible and the Quran are one continuity, with New Testament as a needless interlude in between. Because the same Jewish thought, rigorous thought, is between Bible and Quran, and this New Testament is wholly an interlude between the two, breaking up the continuity of the two. It's a long story. I mean, it can take hours, days, months to talk about it. Then the God of the Israelites is the God of the Mohammedans, the Jehovah, the God. Same vigor, same thing, and then the same means of propagation. If you go to a new country, first offer peace. If they accept the peace, then you can make them your subordinates, and if not, you can fight with them, kill them, take their women and children as their property, as your property and all that. I said, my goodness. I said, this is all. See? So from that day, I became totally a rationalist. And this about gods and all that, I said, God or gods, they're all, I simply cannot imagine. Then I read this H.G. Wells' statement in a supernatural, transcendental, supernatural, transcendental entity is an impossibility. 3 words: supernatural, transcendental, and I forgot another one. Impossibility. I accepted that definition. And so, to me, all religion is a social institution. Man cannot be without some religion or other. I accept that it is a fact of religion. But personally, in myself, I do not simply believe in any gods or goddesses and all that. I consider all this to be anthropomorphism, typical anthropomorphism, and in line with all the primitive religions, all are simply a development and all that. So you cannot expect me without any colored spectacles. I began to read the lives of the great founders of religions, and I found that they use the word gods or God to their own purposes. Holy. To their own purposes. You see? And they were wholly pragmatic in their approaches.
They were.
You see? And they controlled people by means of threats and promises. You see? To build their own societies. And just like this, I tell you now that, listen, I have got a diamond in my house weighing about 5 months, a single diamond. 5 months.
5 months.
5 months. And if you believe in me, if you believe in the fact that I have got a diamond in my house weighing 5 months, I will give you reward in heaven. If not, I will give you punishment. But if you ask me, how can you show me the diamond? I say, no, I will not show you the diamond. The diamond, you have to accept the fact that there is a diamond. The diamond is 5 months in weight. So the pray, and that is Iman bil Ghaib. You must believe in it. Iman bil Ghaib. You must believe in it. Otherwise, there is punishment for you, both here and there. If possible, here by me. You see? Otherwise, they are definitely there. If there are also, and then the temptations that have been thrown in the path of the believer were outrageous to my thinking. That if you believe in this, you will have, for every deed that you do, 15,000 girls in the main texts of their books. I'm not talking of commentaries and others. In the very texts of these books, the details given to you for what hell and the hellfire awaits you if you don't believe in this. If you don't believe in this. This made me think that most of these people, greater part of their lives, they were the real, genuine atheists. Because if they believed in a God, they would not have talked about their God in the way that they had done. You see? Nobody actually who believes in a God would talk like that. The man who knows that he is using the word God to his own purposes only can talk like that. And that's what most of these people seem to have done. So I was amazed that people can be such transcendental. The words used by Haji was transcendental, anthropomorphic, supernatural entity. Transcendental, anthropomorphic, supernatural entity is an impossibility. He said, any transcendental, supernatural, and anthropomorphic entity is in one. So I said, what is all this? So I said, childhood of the whole misery of mankind, as Toynbee said, revolves around two things: religion and nationalism. Modern man's suffering are due to religion and nationalism. So I said, religion as old as mankind is also as old as a disease. Is a disease. It doesn't matter just because it has always been with man, it should continue to be any saving grace. No, it's just like an irrational approach to life, a non-rational, at least a non-rational approach to life, and essentially an irrational approach to life. And another thing that happened to me was this study of this intolerance on the basis of religion, and the trick that is being played by religionists, especially the Judeo-Christian religions, Judaism, Christianity and Islam. Of course, so far Judaism does not accept converts. Judaism has ceased to have converts. The Judaism and Islam and Christianity are to me like spiders with web in web. They come into my parlor. So once you are in it, I go on telling you Islam is such a great religion, such a sweet religion, or Christianity is such a sweet religion. And so much. But when you come in, well, you have to decide whether you are a Roman Catholic or a Protestant. You are a Seventh-day Adventist or something, or whether you are a Sunni or a Shia. If you are a Sunni, then you are a Ahle Hadith, or you are a Shafi'i or Hanafi. I mean, the man caught hold of in the web of religion. The fellow is bewildered, and he can't go back because he has burnt his boat behind. You see, He simply can't go back. I said, this is all a trap. Religions to me began to look upon as a trap, T-R-A-P. Trap, and the poor spider, the poor insect that is caught into it is finished. You see? And further, the more I studied, the more I am studying, sir. I tell you really, it is a wonder that people continue to be like this. That rationality should have been so much and then the use of religion in politics. The use of religion in politics. Mind you, many of the people who have used religion in politics, one good thing about them is that they really don't believe in that religion. If they had believed, they wouldn't have swayed people like that. You see, they would have been honest according to them. Nothing, absolutely. Then I remembered a phrase that the priest is the atheist. The priest is the atheist. He is the true atheist. And in Hinduism, there is a temple in Benares of a god, of an unknown god. You see, there is a curtain hanging near the altar. So those who go to the darshan, the priest removes the curtain, and there is nothing there.
I see.
Nothing there. You see? And then, of course, symbolism. I began to admire the great symbolism. Of all the people I began to admire most was Buddha. Buddha. Three people I admire most. Buddha, Socrates, and Confucius.
इसकी क्या वजह?
It's a long story, very long story. Buddha said, do not believe because Buddha believes. Do not say because Buddha says. Do not think because Buddha thinks. Believe or say or think if your reason tells you so.